Hey guys, welcome to BP The Bible Perspective, a too familiar battle cry that I am hearing from conservatives and Republicans is 74 million people voted for Trump. And my reply is, so what? I want to unpack that because that battle cry, 74 million people voted. You hear this a lot. Well, what about the 74 million people? You got to understand, 74 million people voted for Trump. 74 million people have concerns. Okay, so what? 80 million people should have voted like they did for Biden. I'll get back to those numbers in a minute. But understand that this constant saying the 74 million people matters, and they say this as if the 80 million people who outvoted Trump doesn't matter, doesn't exist. Boom, right? It's the 74 million people. Understand that's more than just branding. It is branding. It is more than just messaging. It is messaging. But it goes to a anti-American ideology. What do I mean? In the name of this 74 million votes, representing these 74 million votes, people stormed the U.S. Capitol last week, January 6th, to try to what? Reverse the election results? Take over the U.S. government? I still am confused what their goal was. Had they captured the Capitol, what would they have done? Well, we don't know, right? But it's clear they had something in mind. And even with that, you had people saying they're just frustrated. The 74 million votes. Well, let's unpack that number. And then I'm going to say my reply, excuse me again, so what? 74 million people voted. 80 million people voted for Biden. And you have to understand that, now get these numbers here, Biden got 306 of the Electoral College vote to Trump's 232. By Trump's own recollection, I'm going to get to that in a moment, this was a landslide victory. He got beaten by a landslide. Biden got 81 million votes to Trump's 74 million votes. So when they say, well, there's 74 million, you have to reckon. Again, it's messaging, but it's a lot more than messaging. In 2016, Hillary got more. So you didn't see the Republicans saying that those 65 million who voted for Hillary has a stronger voice than the 62 million who voted for Trump. They didn't say, well, even though we won, look at those 65 million votes out there. By the way, Trump won 304 of the Electoral College votes. And then he boasted at the time that he won by a landslide. Here's the problem here. If you want to get into election reforms, for sure it needs to be looked at. In other words, when Hillary won 65 million more, 3 million more votes than Trump, it's the Electoral College. I'm not going to get into a whole discussion of the Electoral College. Trump's victory in 2016 was fair and legal. Biden's victory was fair. It's just now the Republicans are crying like babies. That's what this is about. Not only did Biden win, but he won both houses. Remember, Trump only won the Electoral College. And there was a legal, fair reason why he won that. Biden won the same, though. Electoral College, but he also won the popular vote. And he won by a sizable margin. He won by a clear victory. So why are they crying about 74 million? Well, let me just say it like this. In the spoof on Saturday Night Live, when Jim Carrey reprised one of his roles, I'm saying, but he played the victor, Joe Biden, and one of the lines he said, and I'm going to paraphrase, that in this big game, in every game, there are winners and there are losers. You lost. That's fair. That's the fair and simple answer. You lost. And no, your voice doesn't matter because you lost. Just like in 2016, Hillary's voice, the 65 million people voice, didn't matter because Trump won. So at this point, you got 4 years to get your act together. Until then, you lost. That's my perspective. And as always, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. Till next time, I'll see you then.